Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rye Week 2025. Why are we doing Rye Week? Well, because basically I'm sitting on a whole bunch of ryes that deserve a review. So we're going to wipe them out all in 1 week. And also, considering the tariffs that are about to be hitting pretty soon, apparently, who knows, rye may become one of your better buying options if you're in your local store. So yeah, let's taste some rye. So next time on Friday, I guess, is going to be the kind of new, weird, smaller distilleries. This time, we're going to do the big boys. We're going to do the sort of big, the big American column still multinational producers, including Jim Beam, MGP in Indiana, and Jack Daniel's. That's right, we have got some Jack Daniel's rye, which I have never actually tried before. So that is going to go last, and I'm hoping it's really good. Let's get this poured, and we will get to tasting. And that is that. All right, so what do I got here? Old Overholt, 114. This was aggressively on sale at Binny's, and is a 57% alcohol bomb of a rye whiskey from the Jim Beam folks. Tumble and Dice. This is a Binny's pick. Single barrel, 8-year-old MGP, or I think it is 9-year-old MGP. I'm sorry. This is the 8-year-old. This is Caleb's Crossing. It is a 8-year-old MGP finished in Pinot de Chartres, and this again is a Jack Daniel's barrel proof. So let us get to tasting. Old Overholt. Old Overholt, 114. Straight Rye Whiskey. So this is a very, very old brand, and one I don't think I've reviewed it before, but I've always had like a soft spot for this. Particularly, I was able to try, years and years and years ago, a pre-prohibition Pennsylvania distilled Old Overholt, and to this day, it's one of the best spirits I've ever tasted. I didn't have the capacities to appreciate it at the time, but it was good. This is distilled Jim Beam. Not a disclosed rye bill, but you're looking at probably something that is 51, a hair over 51% rye, and the rest is going to be corn and malt. And aged 4 years. Let us see what we got here. On the nose, I know when it comes to rye, we all love to kind of nerd out about the really high ryes, the ones that are kind of pushing 80, 90+%. But I do have a soft spot for the... sorry, I'm not having a stroke or anything. It's just been a day. I do have a soft spot for the so-called barely legal ryes. They just bring such a delicious balance of like... You got your oaky notes. You got your vanillas. You got your burned street corn, like someone was toasting a lotte and left a little bit too long and it caught on fire. A little bit of that. But then you got you got some lovely floral notes in this. Yeah, florals and a touch of green, touch of herbs. So what are we getting? Tasting notes. I hate to do it. Brown sugar. I just bought some Jaggery a couple of weeks ago, and I've been just occasionally opening the thing up to smell it. This smells like real proper brown sugar. It smells like Jaggery. Vanilla. Like burned street corn thing. But also some tobacco. There's like a little bit of tobacco smoke, but also just like fresh, like lighter tobacco, like a Carolina bright leaf. kind of a green tobacco. But then you got the little bit of lavender, cinnamon, even a little bit of rose in there. Complex herbal, floral things going on. A touch of basil, sage. A little bit of like an aniseed thing too, as well, actually. I mean, it smells young. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of layers to this, but there is still a kind of broad complexity going on. I will say there's some white pepper going on in here, but it's also just like the alcohol. I am smelling a little bit of the alcohol in this. It's singeing my nose hairs a little bit. It's 114 proof, and I'm smelling those proofs on the palate. Knock my microphone out of the way. This is just a darn good young American whiskey. And you can tell it's young. Like, everything that's happening is happening at the front of my mouth. It's a big old explosion of flavors, and they're yummy flavors, and it hangs on. The finish is actually pretty serious. But nothing is happening past my molars. Everything is up here. What have we got, though? We have got spicy cinnamon toast crunch. So imagine taking your cinnamon toast crunch, your cinnamon sugar cereal that'll tear the top of your mouth out. Not as bad as Captain Crunch, though. I'm not sure what it was about Captain Crunch, but Captain Crunch just tore the shit out of my mouth. Anyways, take some cinnamon toast crunch, mix in a little bit of black pepper, and like a little bit of like diced jalapenos. Throw all that together. That's a lot of what this tastes like. Vanilla, jaggery again. Some cherry. Not really getting the street corn thing. I am getting some ashiness, some like burned tobaccos. More like Burleys than Virginias on the palate. But then you got that floral herbaceous component that I was really enjoying in the nose. Lavender, rose. Just like a wildflower kind of thing. Allspice. Aniseed. Basil, sage. Is that rosemary? Something else. Hard to nail down. It's a little bit herbaceous. It's a little green, but I'm enjoying it. Like half a nutshell in there as well. Hard to ask for more than this from a 4-year-old spirit at 57%. I think I bought certainly under $25. I think under 20 actually. Good start to the flight. I'm going to throw some water in this. 2, 3, 4. We'll do at least 4. Just want to see how it tolerates it. I'll go 4.5. Still a little bit of a spicy boy. I'll stop there. I will stop myself there. And we will move on to a little bit of a duel between two middle-aged MGPs. Tumble and Dice. This is one of 10 billion licensed bottlings of the MGP 95.5 mashbill. This one is 9 years old. Distilled in Indiana, bottled by Proof and Wood. 9 years old. And it was a Benny's Pick barreled December 11th, 2014, and bottled in 24. I got this on closeout, and I'm guessing there's lots of, single barrels of Tumble and Dice like this around the country right now, because that's kind of where the market is. Strength on this is actually lower than the Old Overholt. It's 52.3% alcohol by volume. Here we go. And immediately I'm getting the extra age. There's a lot of root beer. At the same time, like root beer candies. So imagine you kind of macerated your root beer in the little, the little bottle candies, those things. A lot of vanilla too. Funny, because this is a 95.5, I was expecting this to be the more kind of floral, kind of green one, but it isn't. This one is more, more desserty, if anything. Coffee cake, sweet tea. A little bit of a cherry pie aspect to this. Black pepper. Okay, so I'm getting the root beer thing, but I'm also getting like a distinct aromatic tree bark kind of element. A little bit of a floral thing. Not actual flowers. It's almost more like a whiff of cologne, like decent cologne, not crappy body spray. We're talking like classy stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun contrast in noses, because this has, the Old Overholt in some ways has more things going on. Like, there's woody components, but there's also like some corny components, some grainy components, florals, herbaceousness. This is really only doing a few things, the Tumble and Dice, but it's doing them with a lot more depth. Like this really smells like a big old dessert cart. Pecan pie. Even a little like a slice of lane cake or something. I mean, that's probably redundant because lane cake is made with American whiskey, but it smells very desserty. Let's see what happens on the palate. Same kind of story on the palate. It's doesn't have the same range of different flavors, but there's a depth and I don't know, an authority to this, which warrants some respect. It's also, you can just taste the extra age on this. We're getting further back in my mouth. We're not hitting my tonsils really hard yet, but we're starting to get there. Yeah, there's a silkiness to this that I'm enjoying. It's not, in some ways, this reminds me of Pikesville. I know this is older and from a different distillery, but it's got a little bit of that mood. It's like a super bourbon or something like that. All right, what are we getting? We are getting again, root beer and root beer candy. coffee cake, coffee with sugar and cream, sweet tea, black pepper, cherry pie, pecan pie, a little bit of an aniseed on this thing too as well. That cologne note. It's so close to being where I can say maybe this is actual flowers, but no, we're more in cologne territory. Just a little bit of cologne on my palate. Vanilla, more coffee cake. That kind of aromatic bark thing. A little bit of like a dessert tobacco as well, like a black Cavendish or something. One more time with this. It's a fun contrast, these first two bottles. Well, I will tell you this much at this point. I'm not sure that the Tumble and Dice is cleanly beating the Old Overholt. And considering this is older and more expensive, that tells you something. It's smoother. It's more silky, if you want to think about it like that. It has a more mouth length to it, but I'm not sure if it's actually winning this. All right, let's give it some water, and we'll see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just a touch more. There we go. And move on to MGP number 2. Caleb's Crossing. It's very, very similar in some ways. 8-year-old MGP, 95 rye mashbill. 56.88% ABV. The difference with this, aside from the bottler obviously, is it had a finish in Piano de Charance. Piano de Charance is not a wine per se. It's not a dessert wine. I think people get this wrong. Piano de Charance is a mistel. It is a blend of an aged blend. That's important. You age it in barrel afterwards. It is a blend of cognac and unfermented grape must, essentially grape juice. And they're delicious, and they're very, very reasonably priced, and you should go buy them. Pinot de Charance is absolutely delicious. All right, let's see what a finish in Pinot de Charance did to this MGP. On the nose. It's actually a little bit muted. It smells very dark. I am getting some heavy German rye bread, something like that. Black Cavendish, cinnamon, black pepper. A little bit of that root beer thing. But in some ways this feels like a more congested nose than the previous one. Getting a little bit of raisin. It's brown sugar. It's like a heavy maple syrup thing, or like a maple syrup reduction. Prune. Yeah, just the main addition is it's kind of toned stuff down a little bit and brought some dried fruit to the table. A little dried cherry as well. All right, on the palate. torn about what I'm tasting here. There's a lot of what I'm getting on this that is very clear and very distinct. There's a kind of raisin plum sauce thing going on here, which is very yummy. It's very spicy as well. There's like some black pepper, almost some cumin elements going on. But then a lot of the other stuff in this feels kind of blurred. It feels a little bit fudged. Yes, again, dark German rye bread, dark roast coffee, overstewed tea. Tree bark, like boiled down root beer, something like that. The mouth length is longer. The finish holds on a little bit longer. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. It's like a intense cinnamon thing. We're not in Amberana territory, but there's a nice little gesture in that direction. Very cinnamon driven. I mean, in terms of the form, it's intense. There's complexity to it. It's got some length and some presence on it. I don't know if it feels in some ways like the finish may have thrown a lot of this off balance a little bit, just a little bit. Not too bad. I mean, it's still very drinkable, but I want to see what water does to this. The irony is you've added a sweet, I can't say spirit, can I? A sweet mistel to this, but in some ways the Tumble and Dice, the unfinished MGP, feels more like a dessert dram than this does. So that's kind of interesting. Let's give this some water. Very peppery. 2. I'm just going to bring it over. 3, 4, 5. I'll stop there. And last up, in some ways this is the one I most wanted to try because people have been hyping up the Jack Daniel's rye for me for years and years and years and years. And this is my first chance at trying it. This is a little Boston round of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. And this is batch number 23-07308, bottled at 63.6% alcohol. There's no age statement on this, but there is a huge reputation. And a very interesting and distinctive mash bill. This is 70% rye, 18% corn, 12% malt. So it's one of those kind of interesting in-between mash bills that I find fascinating. They've pushed the corn into a corner a little bit, but it's still there. On the nose. In some ways, we're back to that. Again, I don't know what the age on this is, but this feels like a more youthful profile, a little bit more like the Old Overholt. Lots of fruit. There's some somewhere like half dried cherry, so it's like starting to half raisin, but isn't quite there yet. Some like almost some green banana in there. Like you bought a banana at the grocery store, and it's not anywhere near ripe yet, but you're a little bit hungry, so you open it up anyways and give it a smell. Black pepper, More kind of half-dried cherry. Some herbaceousness on this that's kind of hard to nail down. There's like maybe a parsley thing or an oregano thing. You know, a lighter herb. Orange peel. A touch of florals. Just mixed wildflowers, maybe. More green banana. I mean, it's a big fat friendly nose, but there's not that much to it. The Old Overholt actually had more things going on. That said, this is a lot stronger than the Old Overholt. A fair bit stronger than the Old Overholt. So maybe the alcohol is just kind of blocking the strength a little bit. Yeah, there's like some English breakfast tea in there. A little bit of like a kind of an old coffee grinds thing. All right, let's see what happens on the palate. I can see why people like this. I really can. There is a fruity deliciousness factor here, which is it feels unique. In the pantheon of like big distillery whiskeys, I can't think of anything quite like this. Maybe some stuff in the Forester stable, but even that, not really. Banana bread. Tons of banana bread, but also some green bananas in there. Fun, interesting. Black pepper, English breakfast tea, cherries, kind of, again, in that sort of half-dried state. I hate to say it, brown sugar, again, jaggery. That kind of light herbs thing, again. Parsley, oregano. Also some flowers. Just whole flowers, stems and all, like straight into my mouth. It's very balanced. Again, I don't know the age of this, but what I'm getting is saying not that old. Like, it's maybe getting a hair bit further back in my mouth than the Old Overholt. It feels a little bit older than that, but not by much. Like, this is not an old whiskey by any means. There's just some really good balance here. It's not hugely complex. I want a little bit more going on with this. And I could easily see with 2 or 3 more years this getting, more complexity. But yeah, there's a big fat friendliness and a balance to this that is really enjoyable. But I can't really give it a high score unless it really turns around with water. And we shall see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that good enough? 5.5. Let's do this again. And to my surprise, we have a pretty even race here. I kind of like all of these. None of them is really pulling ahead of the pack, which is annoying because because the scores may end up being, within a couple of points of each other. But not annoying because if these are within a couple of points of each other, you can just buy the Overholt, can't you? Let's go through these again, starting with the Overholt 114. Interesting. This just dropped a whole bunch of orange peel on me. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, orange peel, burning street corn. No, it's still got that floral thing, though. Fun. I mean, yeah, now this smells like, a grainy margarita or something, which I'm into. Yeah, there's a little bit of like a key lime thing as well. Really, we're on orange. A lot of orange. Black pepper too, cinnamon. This is fun for a bottle like you can, probably buy with pizza money. This is showing me a thing or two. Water is showing the strengths and weaknesses of this. It's a little bit thin now. It feels a little bit brittle in my mouth. And not because I added too much water. I don't think I did. I think it's just... they're saying non-chill-filtered, but I don't know. I feel like maybe there was a little bit of filtering going on. In any case, it feels a little bit brittle now, but you are getting a similar transformation on the palate as with the nose. There's a lot of orange now, a lot of lime now, a little bit of like a grainy rye margarita thing. But then you got the cherry, the vanilla, the American oak. The florals in there. This is good stuff. See, a hair bit thin. Finish. Maybe we're emphasizing the tannins and the pepper just a little bit. I left for everything else to hang on just a little bit longer, but there's not a lot to complain about with this. Good rye. If tariffs absolutely drive prices sky high and I'm stuck drinking nothing but this is okay. I can live with it. I'm going to give this 84 plus. It is a lovely, lovely little bottle, especially for the asking price. Onto the Tumbling Dice. 9-year-old MGP now with water. Yeah. I was not expecting the 95.5 rye to be smelling more bourbony than the, I'm assuming, depending on the mash bill, barely legal rye. But that's kind of where we're at with this. It's just, it's cherry pie and coffee cake and, delicious American oak. That is what this smells like. It smells like an American whiskey, like just gloriously so. Not a whole lot of change from before. Maybe a hair bit more. There's a kind of more of a vague graininess coming through, almost a porridge thing. but not a whole lot of development beyond that, and that's okay because it was a good, like, just approachable, enjoyable nose before. Let's see what we got. Okay, so a little bit more of a kind of an allspice aniseed black pepper thing creeping in now. It spices up a little bit, but it's still very kind of desserty and bourbony. This is yummy. It does. I still feel like I feel left wanting more from this. Mouth presence is good. The mouth feel is good, but I want a little bit more from it. Finish hangs on. The desserty stuff hangs on, but I want a little bit longer. Mouth length is okay. We're getting, it's attacking the back of my mouth, but I want just a little bit more. I want a little bit more of everything with this. Is it beating the Overholt? It's close. I think it is beating it, but not by much. It's the form. The presence. It's just a hair bit better on the Tumbling Dice, but not much. I'll give this an 85. And for the price difference, 85 points. Good little rye, but unless I was getting it on closeout, which again I did, this is a better value. It just is. Sorry. Back to the Caleb's Crossing. MGP with peanut deterrence finish, now with water. I'm really hoping the water kind of brings everything into focus. Nope. At least not on the nose. I mean, it still smells like, delicious, heavy German rye bread with like an overcoat of raisin and prune syrup. And that's fine. That's delicious. That's fine. But, I'm not sure if it's going to pull away from the previous two bottles on the palate. There is a sour raisin thing to this that I like. Maybe that, Yeah, sour raisin on top of, like heavy German rye bread. That's what it tastes like. Throw a little bit of coffee into that, a couple of flowers and a little bit of mixed herbs. That's what you're getting. There's a certain kind of person who's really going to dig this. And I don't think that's me. I still feel like this doesn't feel completely integrated. I feel like if they just left this in the Pinot cask a little bit longer, let it integrate, let the two marry a little bit more so that the rye character comes up and the peanut deterrence character kind of marries a little bit with it. I would be happy to give this a higher score, but I don't think I can with this in its current state. Raisiny MGP. Sour raisiny MGP. 85. Same score. 85 points. And, dang. Let us see if Jack Daniels can pull away from this 84, 85 point morass. At least, and if it doesn't, I'm really hoping the smaller distilleries next time can do it. Okay, spices up a little bit with water. It's still very much on like green banana, on like banana bread. But now we're getting some more black pepper, tea leaves, nutmeg. Okay, I mean, it smells fermentary. It smells like, it smells like I walked into a bakery when they were making, banana bread and maybe some heavy rye in the corner. It's a little bit like that. Maybe some desserts, some coffee cake on the palate. It's probably going to win this flight. And those of y'all who really like this stuff, I get it. I really do get it. This is special. This is like spiced banana bread in a bottle. It's a very unique kind of profile. But examining it, picking it apart, there's a lot to pick apart. Banana bread, fennel, rye bread, allspice, vanilla, cinnamon. There's complexity. There's not a ton of complexity. There's power, and that's fine. There's mouth presence, but not that much mouth presence. Like we're still short in the mouth. A lot of what's happening is just right up in front. And balance is really good. I mean, this has balance. It has smoothness to it. It's fun. It's delicious. It's different, but. I'll call this an 86. This is an 86 point whiskey. So it's winning the flight, but I'm still not that impressed with it, if I'm totally honest. And yeah, that is it was sort of, so the winner in terms of QPR, clearly it's the Overholt 114. I am genuinely impressed by what you're getting for $20 to $30 in the genre of Jim Beam rye. Well done, y'all. The two MGPs tie at 85, and the Jack Daniels big ol' rye, banana bread rye, gets an 86. And that is the video. Thank you for watching, and cheers. I'll see you on Friday with the nerds. The nerdy stuff.